Well, the jobs report came out. It blew out expectations again. 300,000 jobs added. The expectations were for 200,000 jobs. So here we are. He is Mark Falter, Retirement Income Hour, Saturday and Sunday mornings here on KCMO at 9 o'clock. And, of course, Mid-America Wealth Advisory Group. All right, Mark, what do you make of this jobs report, my man?
Hey, it's a good report. Hey, thanks for having me on again, Pete. Very good report. It's the economy's going in the right direction. And I think Jerome Powell might just pull it off with a soft landing, so to speak.
But I did see this morning that it looks like the odds of the Fed cutting rates in June just went down, which the market is not liking thus far. So what should we make of that?
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be the latter part of the year, but almost certainly going to come down personally. I just was meeting with a client in my foyer the other day. I said, a lot of retirees I know hear negative news on Fox News and things like this. And I said, really right now, things are just as perfect as I've ever seen them in 30-some plus years. I mean, interest rates are up, market's up overall. I mean, it's not taking a major crash. And I said, now is a fantastic time to do any sort of reallocating you ever thought of doing. Is right now is a great time to do it. Unfortunately, I think things are going to change, though. And we're going to see the rates start going down, which will drive fixed interest rates down. And I think the market will like it, but ultimately I think it's going to be the latter part of this year.
I saw this yesterday, Mark Falter. A record 80% of stocks are held by Americans over the age of 55. And since 2009, this share has increased by more than 15%. Those who are 70 and older account for a whopping 40% of equity holdings. They've been riding the gravy train, but, man, you better get off if you need that cash, right?
Oh, I think it's just, it's good. It's just now is the perfect time to listen to the fundamentals. And they say that Vince Lombardi started every year with the, Green Bay Packers always saying, this is a football. These are the strings. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Every year, get back to the basics. Now is a fantastic time to listen to the basics. And, greed is good when you're young because you can have the time to offset it. But when you're 60, 65, 73 years out from retirement, greed is not your friend. Now is a perfect time to do any type of change and you thought of changing because things are going to change. That's the one thing we're confident in and we can bank on is things are going to change. Jerome is going to make sure of that. He's got to get rates back down a little bit. But honestly, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if things stayed where they're at.
But why does he have to get rates down?
I got to be honest with you. I personally like seeing leave things where they're at. Inflation at 3.8% is not. It's not going to kill you. And at 7 and 8%, yeah, we felt it. I mean, you felt it. But right now, look at the jobs report. People are making more money. It's all relative, And I don't think things are in a bad scenario right where they're at right now. Unfortunately, he's going to force some change.
Well, the reason I asked that is to get to your point. There's this perception that, we've got to get rates down. We got to get rates down. But there was it wasn't all that long ago that this was kind of the normal rate environment we lived in for a pretty good stretch of time, right? You go back 20 years or so. So I think we just have gotten addicted to the easy money and the cheap money, but I don't see a reason to reduce rates at all right now.
No, I think we need to leave them the same because I think so we had 0% for 20-some plus years, and that was our norm. 0 is not a good number because you can't go backwards from 0.
Yeah.
And that was a problem. Japan actually did go backwards, and you could take your money, put it in a bank and lose money, or put it in a gun safe and keep it. And that becomes a real problem because then people don't want to save money in the banks, and that becomes a major problem. Banks have got to make money. That's what keeps the system going. So you don't want to go negative. That negative interest rate thing doesn't work. So 0 is not a good number. I think we should leave things alone if you want my honest opinion.
Yeah, no, that's what I want, Mark Falter. Retirement Income Hour, Saturday and Sundays at 9 on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM, Mid-America Wealth Advisory Group. So if Powell's not interested in cutting any rates, and hopefully he's not, we could be sitting here till later this year. But if you go and you start cutting rates weeks before a presidential election, man, you are asking for trouble, Mark. So how about we just put this thing on hold till next year? How's that sound?
I think it's a great idea. I said to somebody the other day in my office, I said, let me ask you a quick question. This person was 70. I said, when was the last time that you could take money and put it in the market, make 6-7%, or you could move it out to fixed interest, make 5, 5.5? I said, when do you remember a time like that? They said, I don't. Exactly. I don't. I've been in this since 1984, and it has not been like that. And I say leave it where it's at. That's a fantastic scenario.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. All right. So what, I mean, you mentioned younger people, just kind of close your eyes, people my age, just, do what you're doing and don't really think twice about it. Is there any point in time trying to time these markets and thinking that big tech might eventually bubble up, or do you think that's fool's errand?
Yeah, it's fool's errand. It's if you think about it, I mean, back in the 1950s, Harry Markowitz wrote a book called Modern Portfolio Theory, and he proved basically back then what Vanguard has built their entire company on, which is modern. In other words, you can't outtime the market. I've always said for somebody under the age of 50, and I know it sounds counterintuitive coming from a financial planner, if you're under 40, 45 years of age and you're trying to grow money, put it in a good S&P 500 ETF. You don't need to pay an advisor for that. I know I'm going to tick off a lot of advisors saying that, but you really don't. That's like, I mean, there's more sense paying for bottled water than that.
Yeah. No, but that's why we love you, Mark. We appreciate the honesty. You're not trying to, you're just trying to take care of people here. So
Right.
you
That's
close
what
your
we try to
eyes,
do.
you put it in the S&P 500 ETF, and then, when you think you're within, a few years of retirement, then you start figuring out a game plan after that, right?
Yeah, and that's what I've always told people. It's very counterintuitive what people think. People think it's hard to grow money in an up market. It is like really actually not that hard. Just get in a good S&P 500 fund and you'll do it. What's hard is to not lose money when the markets are correcting, not lose too much money, or get fixed interest. I've always said to people, if you're taking money out of an account and you're selling shares to do it, you need to have a checkup from the neck up as far as your financial planner. You should be taking interest in dividends right now. It's the easiest time it's ever been to do that, and there's no reason to be selling shares.
But does it concern you, Mark Falter, that the Magnificent Seven stocks, as they are called, the big tech stocks, NVIDIA, Apple, Google, Amazon, now account for, I think it's more than 30% of the S&P 500?
Yeah, no, it's kind of scary because it makes it even more volatile. But, again, if you sit down and look at the paradigm on that, that's a good thing for young people, not a good thing for people that are getting 3 to 5 years out from retirement. Meaning if you're 3 to 5, okay, so if the market takes a sharp downward decrease real quick, boom, down, it's not going to crash.
Yeah.
So for a young person, that's fantastic, man. You're getting everything on sale. For a person 3 to 5 years out from retirement, that is not a good thing because now you just got 30% of your portfolio wiped away and you got to take income. That's the big shift. Is you're going from money in to money out. And when that changes, the internals have to change too.
Yeah. All right. So we'll be watching, I guess, what Powell says, what the Fed's talking about here in the weeks ahead, and just see how 2024 is going to play out, right? That's the next move.
Yeah. It's exactly right. It's exactly right. And I'll tell you another thing. I think a lot of people, at least in the Midwest, I'm not trying to get political, but a lot of people just think Trump's going to be a shoo-in, and I would say that's not going to be the case. They say 72% chance a sitting president, will get reelected if there's not a major recession during his term, even if he can't find his way off stage. And, so yeah. I think it's going to be a bigger fight than you think.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And you know how I feel about that, but anyone who thinks that this thing is a done deal either way is not paying a close enough attention. You're right about that, Mark Falter.
Sure not.
Good deal. Hey, we'll be listening tomorrow morning, and we always appreciate the time.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Thanks again.
You bet. Mark Falter. Tune in tomorrow morning at 9 here on KCMO 95.7 FM. Great guy, straight shooter. Always appreciate him coming on the show.